And it was the efficiency, and we defended really well today. We struggled in some moments at the beginning and also straight after halftime. But overall, I think the players, and this we were talking at halftime, we had 2-3 big chances in the first half as well, and we said, okay, these situations will happen again. Just be patient, stay in the structure, always keep the belief. So, big credit to the team, to the players today.
Those three in particular in front of you, do you see them getting better by the week?
Yeah, 100%. From loads better from the start of the season. Obviously, we had new players come in, and the connections have developed over the time, and understanding the roles and what the manager wants. It's been phenomenal.
The team did some things well. We had more possession, more control of the game. We create some chances, but then we suffered 2 goals that we can avoid. It's really disappointed the game today, but we take something from the performance, not from the result.
Well, proof at Old Trafford today that 3-4-3 works from the visitors.
It does.
It's true,
it really
it?
does. You've hit the nail on the head there. I think it's this system, obviously Crystal Palace are really equipped to, and they have a man up front, MOTD, who is constantly a problem for defenders because he occupies them in a space which creates the areas where the 10s can pick up the ball and then have the creativity around those areas. But he's happy he can go offside as well, and at no point the centre-halves are comfortable because they don't know where he is. And he's always on the move, and not just there, then he creates an overload at the back. And Munar here does a bit unlucky, maybe should do better, but he's a constant threat, and at times he can do everything. He can run down the channels. And it could be a ball at times which can't be focused on, but again, he's always on the half-turn, always facing the ball. And this is where centre-halves, again, they're not quite sure who's going to take him. Yoro's a bit not sure he should stay in position. Maguire's a bit unsure he needs to get into his position. And this is where the number 10s can come alive again. And this is a system where when you have a player who's a link player, who's always keen to be in the right positions, a better touch here.
Stretches them.
It's a goal, exactly that. But he's always a threat. And what I like about MOTD as well, he's constantly on the move. He likes to start the press, and the connections he has with his players behind him is so key. And that's what you're talking about, a system that fits to this team right now, to Crystal Palace. You can see here the space that's created again for the 10s. You know, it's so much joy, but because they're used to playing the system, he makes these runs in behind. And he's a bit unlucky here. It's a good save, actually, that he makes a save here, but he's always a constant threat. And this is his goal, where Eze, who comes on, he puts himself in a position where he puts Maguire in doubt, and this is where he comes alive. These are the goals that add up in the season. Not just that, when you now create space and you've been occupying players at certain distances, you can see here, 21 yards here, Maguire is off him, because they're not quite sure who to take him, midfield or defenders. And it's a really simple goal. It's a fantastic run from Munar in the middle here. It's so easy to get in behind United's back four. And it's a simple tap-in for a number 9 who's playing with so much confidence right now, and he's got that number 14 shirt, which would look quite nice in the red as well. No, but yeah.
The thing with that stat there, Danny, of before Glasner and under Glasner for MOTD is a wider point that 8 of the starting 11 today for Palace were at the club before Glasner arrived and then went with this formation. Just to continually compare the two.
I think it's 2 things. One is a more tactical, positive outlook from the manager, and also a personal relationship, obviously, is strong and helps a player grow in confidence when you're playing all the time. But the other thing with MOTD, of course, and Theo and I were talking about, and I think he agrees, is that when you're in a team where you know someone's always going to be, like I played with Bobby Zamora at Fulham, for example, who didn't want to run behind. Big target man, wanted the ball into him. He could play off him, he'd hold the ball up. So you could play blind into him. The wingers knew where he was. And you had the same with Giroud, didn't you?
I did. Giroud was, again, he was a player that just played to his strengths, played to my strengths, because he occupied everyone, so you could have that link play. And that's what we're talking about, having a focal point. It was so key that it brought the best out of me, obviously.
Whereas United are grasping for a focal point somewhere, and they tried something different again today.
They did. This is a lack of a focal point, really. You know, Amorim's fixed in this dynamic, but ends up playing Mainu up front, and it's obviously a position where he's not comfortable with, but not just that, he picks the ball deep, where he makes, where he actually plays his game. But it's actually started off pretty well, to be honest, but these are the spaces where he's just not used to being, and now he wants to gravitate towards the ball. to try and receive it in the pockets.
So he's not the focal point.
He's really not now, and now you can see the three centre-halves have nothing. They have everything in front of them, so you can see everything. And Dean Henderson said about the back three defending particularly well. They didn't have much to do. But, you know, this was probably the only moment, the one time he actually did it, where he got himself in the space which created for Ahmad here. You can see he's putting the defenders in doubt, but that's what I was talking about, the space he created for Ahmad to get in those pockets. But this was very early on, and this was the only time when he actually got into space and managed to get a shot away. You know, it's a bit unlucky there. But this is what we're talking about, a lack of focal point and the lack of knowing the position where you need to be in the positions to get your tap-ins like Mateta.
And there's no one there.
You can see clearly here, Kobe Mainoo needs to be in that position, but it's not normal for him, so it's nothing against his play, it's just not his natural behaviours. And that's where, for me, he's got it wrong, thinking of trying to be smart and try to play someone different in that position, but he's not comfortable.
It seems really strange that he's doing it, because Amorim's success at Lisbon was partly because they had a striker in Gyökeres who was a very orthodox number 9 with pace and wanted to run in behind and get on the end of things.
But those two possible... Look, Xerxes might not be an out-and-out 9, but those two possible front men, 9s, target men, whatever you want to call, are both on the bench. The third person who could do that role has joined Aston Villa on loan this evening. That whole situation sums up the running of United for a long time.
To a degree, yeah, it does. He obviously doesn't fancy Højlund. He's not playing him enough. Xerxes, I think, could do it because his touch is good and he's a big lad, so he should be able to do it, but doesn't want to put him up there either. I'd be amazed if they don't bring someone in tomorrow.
And as far as Marcus Rashford is concerned, do you think that's a good move for him?
I'm pleased he's still in the league. I think it would have been interesting if he went abroad, but look, he's a player that has got so many gifts. I just want to see it come out a little bit more, that energy, but he's now got a very intense manager that hopefully will bring the best out of him, and he's in an environment where there's a few English teammates as well. But this is now or never, really, with Marcus Rashford. But look, we want to see him enjoying his football again. It's a great sign, I think, for Villa. Just gives them that other option. And their team that playing with confidence, which will help him as well. But he needs to get back to fitness because he's not played for a long period of time.
I think it's a good move for him. I think that Unai Emery's strength is improving players. The improvement he's made on some of those Villa players who were there before he got there is incredible. And he's done it at Villarreal. He's done it before with so many players. So, yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity for him. I just hope he grasps it.
Ruben, how did you assess that performance today?
I think we had some moments, some better moments with the ball. We created some chances. The 2 goals that we suffer, we can avoid that kind of goals. And then after suffering the first one, was really hard on the team. But then we have to settle down. It's 1-0, so we can change the game. Liche injury is massive for us, and then the second goal killed the game, and then tough result for us.
It looks really bad, the Martinez injury. Do we know what it is?
Not at the moment. It's not clear, but I think it's a bad situation.
The 2 goals, there were 1 or 2 complaints to the officials afterwards. Was there a feeling maybe it was a push in the back of Lenny Yoro for the header?
Yeah, but that is with the referees. You feel that way when you see the image right away, live. But let's move on.
First half, you had a lot of possession. How did you feel the experiment went playing Kobe Mainoo further forward in the false 9? It seemed to give you an awful lot of the ball at times.
Yes, we can transport the game for the final third of the opponent. We have more possession, more calm. We have more time to think about the plays, but we need to improve also in the final third. But we create chances. We miss some goals, and that can make the difference in the game.
Are you finding it easier to play away from home at the minute than at Old Trafford? Is the expectation here making it a bit more difficult in the way teams play against you?
Yeah, and in this moment is hard to play at home, but the fans are fantastic, and today was a little bit a different game. We had the control of the game. We missed some chances, so we need to improve on that.
Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oliver, congratulations on your victory. 3 important points. How does it feel to win at Old Trafford, and how important is this victory for the team confidence?
Thank you very much. It feels great, and we are all delighted with the performance, with the result, and let's say today that the game was how we expected it. Yeah, we didn't start quite well, but then we got more and more control, and again after the start into the second half, yeah, we and say it looked like we had to survive 10 minutes in these 2 chances after set plays. We needed Dean Henderson with big saves, and then we knew that we will get our moments. And today we took the chances, we took the right moments to decide the game for us, and really a great defending performance today. Also all the set plays, because they had, let's say, too many, and we did it really well, and so it feels great.
Yeah. You talk in the press conference, this match is going to be very tough. So how did you prepare the players mentally and physically for such a tough game like this game?
Physically, they're always ready, so they are in a good shape. And it was, we told them, we think we exactly knew how the game will go. So because Ruben Amorim has a clear structure in how he plays with his team, so we were well prepared. And then it was okay. So I told the players today, I want that we show our personality and identity. Yeah? There will be moments to struggle in a game when you play at Old Trafford. You always have these moments, but we always have to believe in us that we will get our chances, we will get our situations. And the players were excellent. And we waited, we were patient for our situations, and then we were really very efficient today. And was fantastic to watch.
So what was the turning point? First half, so many chances missed, and second half, you scored 2 goals, actually.
Yes, defensively we did excellent. We didn't give them the space they want to use. Of course, 3-4 times they found it, but everything else we did well. And we knew how they want to build up, and we knew where there will be our gaps, our positions. But it's always easy on the video, but this is then you need the right intensity. You have to be switched on mentally, that you always anticipate what will happen, and the players were today. And so when I see the second goal, it was exactly how we wanted to play, with Adam Wharton playing with 1 touch to the opposite 10. Ismail Sarr goes forward. We were talking about after the Brentford game that sometimes we slowed the game down, and he was really increasing the speed of attack, and Dani Munoz made a great run, same with JP, and then it looks quite easy, but it was how it happened, was everything perfect. So that meant the players were really focused today, but this is of course what you need, otherwise you can't win at Old Trafford.
I want to talk final questions. Just on 80 minutes in the second half, you were talking to Mateta and Easy, and then 5 minutes after, Mateta scored the second goal. What did you say to them? So what about that?
Nothing about the goal, to be honest. I said to him, it's because Harry Maguire already had the yellow card, and I said, okay, sometimes you have to save the ball and be physically hard, but also don't forget running in behind, because we know that maybe he has a little bit an advantage in his pace, and when Maguire needs a foul, then he gets sent off. So this was the message, but this didn't happen. But he scored the second goal. And so therefore he doesn't need me, because he has this feeling, this anticipation a striker needs, where he has to be. And also credit to Dani Munoz, that he was unselfish and passed the ball, and then was an easy finish for him.
Thank you very much. Dankeschön. Alles Gute. Schönen Abend noch.
Marcus Rashford, I happen to think, might just be the best piece of business any club does in January. What's the counter-argument, if indeed there is one?
Well, there will be competition at Aston Villa. We know that John Duran is gone to Saudi Al Nassr, but for Marcus, he hasn't played since December 13. So first he's got to get back into full fitness, and he's got to adapt to Unai Emery's football, So it won't be as easy, and it's a short period. So in 4 months' time, he's got to prove that he's the one, that they have to lift that clause of 40 million. So it's a difficult challenge for Marcus, I believe,
What did you make of Amorim saying he'd rather play his goalkeeping coach than Marcus Rashford?
I think it's too much. I think it's disrespectful. You can say, I think over the time he's been in charge, his communication, it's been difficult, for him. Losing games and having players selection, difficult injuries. But talking about Marcus in such a way, for someone who has been going like 9 years old, he joined Manchester United. I think this type of conversation, you can have it privately, but in public, I don't think that makes anybody any favor. The team, the owners, or Marcus.
And as a player, how would you have felt if he described you as being part of the worst team in Manchester United's history?
Well, that's as a global team. I think that was. I think he meant to get a reaction from the team, and
he did.
He did.
Not a very good one.
He did, but it doesn't last. It didn't last long enough. Today was a point. So I think in terms of going forward, that we're talking about surgery. This is going to take years, and I don't know how much they will have to invest to build a team that respond to his way of playing, his formation, and the way he wants to attack. He's always talking about attack. I want to make sure we don't concede first, especially Old Trafford. Everybody's coming. Yeah, right. Everybody's coming to Old Trafford and rolling over us.
And are you excited or a little pensive about the impending arrival of Rashford?
You and I have had this conversation, and listen, and it depends on me and where Marcus's head is, because there's absolutely no doubt for the last 2 years it's not been right, and his numbers bear that out. His numbers are poor. I mean poor over the last 2 years. He's looked disaffected. He's not looked interested. I get it. He was working under Eric Ten Hag and they didn't get on. He's now working under another manager where he doesn't get on. But if we get the Marcus Rashford Aston Villa of 2 years ago, and that's a big ask, because it's 2 years since Marcus has really...
He's only 27.
Yes, but you can't just do that. No. Get it back again. You know that.
Yeah.
You know that. So if they're getting the Marcus Rashford of 2 years ago, it's great business for Villa. He can play right across the front line.
Last 6 Premier League home results for Manchester United, just one win in there, and that was against Southampton. Old Trafford used to be a fortress. It used to put the fear into players having to go there, opposition players.
The theatre of dreams, they call it. I mean, it's been like that for a decade now. It doesn't matter what managers come in. I remember years ago, we went there for West Ham, and I think we got beat like 7-0.
You got done 7. I was on the bench. I didn't play.
He refused to come on.
You were hiding in the stands.
I wanted no part of that 7 whatsoever.
So it was even it is intimidating. Down the tunnel you see players that it's a difficult place to go, but. Teams now teams go there and believe that it can win.
I mean, the win on that graphic there was Southampton. Southampton should have been 4 up at half time.
Yeah.
So teams are going there. It's a combination of the players are not good enough, they're fragile, there's a lack of confidence, and teams are now going there, smelling it, thinking we can beat these. And when you lose that fear factor, what happens is the opposition then step onto you, put you under pressure, and then Man United at the moment just can't cope. They started the game, I would say, okay, the first 10 minutes. He changed it. He played Kobbie Mainoo as a false 9. It sort of worked okay in terms of he's good on the ball. He can link the play. I could see it on paper. I could see Kobbie Mainoo getting hold of the ball. I see Garnacho coming off one side and Ahmad coming off the other. The trouble is they come up against the Palace side with 3 centre-backs who were outstanding on the day. And then Man United, after 10 minutes, ran out of ideas. The Palace were the better side.
7 defeats at home already this season, and we're only in match week 24. Let's look at the goals, though, that separated the two sides. Crystal Palace, Jean-Philippe Mateta, obviously key for them, and he was the man that scored the brace today.
Well, Ez had only just come on, I think, 2 or 3 minutes. He took the free kick. That one there stood it up to Lacroix. He wins his header. Yoro's not strong enough. And then Mateta sort of gets the flight of it. He's hoping it's going to come off the crossbar. It does. And then you just got to react and get it over the line. And I had no other feeling that Palace were going to win the game from then on. Whether it was 1, I didn't really see 2 or 3 coming. But the next goal, this is Adam Wharton, who just come off the bench. That's brilliant into Ismail Assar. He's then too quick for anyone, too strong. They couldn't catch him all day long. Munoz, who's a right-sided player, runs in behind Harry Maguire, who played them all onside. They can't recover, and then Mateta's got a tap in.
Why does he have so much space?
Maguire plays them on, watch.
Yeah. Even the back line there, it's just disjointed and that, and it's just too easy. It's like a training ground goal. It's too easy. And I think you need understanding when to. There's times when you need to defend the box. The ball might go wide, you need to defend the box. Or, for instance, in that case there, you have to defend the space. Your body position's got to be completely different and defend the goal. I think in this case, it's way too easy.
Let's look at what's coming up for Manchester United in the Premier League. Very difficult times for them. There you go: Spurs, Everton, Ipswich, Arsenal, Leicester, and Nottingham Forest.
I can't see where they get a win there.
This is what I'm saying. They're too inconsistent. Normally, you can have an idea where you think, oh, they might have a chance there, might have a chance here. I just don't know where they're going to get the wins from.
Not Ipswich, maybe?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, like I said, Southampton went there and should have beat them 3 or 4, but didn't, and it was the Ahmad show with 10 minutes to go. And Ipswich are fighting for their lives.
I mean, on paper, you go, yeah, surely they win that game, but Crystal Palace went there today and were organised. As I said, the 3 centre-halves were faultless. They didn't put a foot wrong. The great news for Palace fans that Adam Wharton came off the bench. He's back fit after a long injury. But from a United's point of view, I can't rely on them. They're too inconsistent.
Playing players out of position. You know, people talk about the system. You know, at times, obviously, you spoke before and you spoke about some of the chances. I think they were half chances. But apart from today, you know, you look at them, you don't really look like scoring. It's going to be difficult.
You know, the sad indictment, I think, before the game, when the team sheets came in and Kobbie Mainoo was playing as a front 9, what does that do to Rasmus Højlund and Xerxes, 2 centre-forwards who were sitting on the bench thinking, I can't get in because a midfield player's playing in my position?
Yeah.